Hey everybody, welcome back to Chortle Cast. I am one of your hosts, Jake, and I'm joined not by Steven. Steven is about to have a baby. He's got that Pitocin up in him. He's about to be spewing babies and all kind of stuff like that. But I'm joined by the marvelous Matt from Tavrich.com. What's up, Matt? Tavrich.com is a nonprofit, or great. Chortle Cast is also a nonprofit because we are not able to monetize on any source yet. So, keep that coming. We don't get the Pitocin till tomorrow. Fake news. Okay, well, that's all right. Steven is in the chat. So, Steven, you don't need to hear Matt. You know what I mean? You don't need to hear him.
Can't
Now you
turn
can. It's your
turn your audio on.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault, Matt. It's not your fault. It's all mine.
I just want to turn his audio on. Don't worry. It was just...
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Chortle Cast, the official podcast of Chortle Games. We talk about video games, TV shows, movies, anime, whatever the heck we want to talk about. We do a lot of tier lists, all that jazz. But tonight, we're going to learn all about Matt. Matt has been streaming with us for a while now, a couple months, give or take. And you were friends with Steven beforehand. Steven kind of said...
being the operative word.
Yeah, we're right. You're not friends now. Now that you started streaming, it's ruined your friendship. But Steven kind of texted me. He's like, hey, I got a buddy. He streams. Would you be all right with me inviting him on something? I forget what y'all were playing or what we were playing. And I was just like, yeah, of course. That's totally fine. And then I forget what you and I streamed together. Well, obviously with Steven there too. Probably Monster Hunter. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, we just kind of just got thrown in there, right? We didn't really have a chance to catch up. We just jumped right into content and kept going. So I thought it would be fun since we kind of have this opportunity here where it's just you and me, Matt. We don't have Steven, even though Steven is in the chat. He's just in a hospital, And the dangerous thing here, Matt, is that our studio on Discord, Steven has access to it. So at any point, he could just jump in here, and ruin all our fun. I don't think he'll do that. I think Anna, his wife, is probably going to make him focus in a little bit, but we'll see.
Well, he just called us fake news about something about getting to Pitocin tomorrow. So
he doesn't know. He doesn't know how it's going. Does he have a medical degree? I don't think so.
I believe he does not. I believe he has a secondary medical degree, nursing them burns that he gets all the time. I failed on that one. I'm sorry. You're in a non-disclosed location, but we know where you are.
He's at some hospital somewhere. That's all you need.
Yeah, he's in the United States. Really, we can narrow it down from there. There's only a couple of hospitals.
Anyway, I thought it would be cool just to kind of chat with Matt, get to know him a little bit better, and then once we kind of feel like we've heard enough about Matt, I have this fun new website that. Just in showing Matt, he's already hooked. He's gonna dive in deeper after this for sure. But it's a website that lets you visit any video game. Like you can just type in a video game and it renders the map, and you can kind of wander around, explore a little bit. So we'll do that a little bit at the end, the back half of the show. So what's up, Joe? What makes you think I'm in an American hospital? No. Steven, if you went to Mexico for delivery, that would be wild.
Wait, didn't he say Yemen? Isn't that like over in Europe?
He did say Yemen. I just saw that. He could be.
Is that in Europe though? Can we get confirmation? Because I just kind of guessed on that one.
Here, I'll validate that parking for you real quick.
Thank you. I got the ticket here.
Is Yemen located?
I think Yemen is the country. Maybe not.
It's Southwest Asia.
That's what we said. Yeah, we were right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Chandler went there on Friends. Did he? Maybe.
That makes more sense for why that was a place that Steven named.
True.
But anyway,
he may have been there.
That.
Never know.
Well, Matt, let's dive in about you a little bit. All right.
Okay.
So, what got you into gaming? What's kind of your gaming history?
When I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Steven, what? One second. Let me. Nintendo 64 was what my parents got me with Mario Kart and Diddy Kong Racing, and that's what it began.
Classics.
Just those two games.
Yep. I also started on the N64, Donkey Kong, Donkey Kong 64, one of my earliest gaming memories.
I don't think I played that one.
It was fine. There was this weird thing where you had to collect blueprints, and my mom could never figure out how to get us past that. So that game remained unbeaten by me.
Yeah, that mine was just for the racing, and that was a ton of fun. Because Mario Kart's great. Let's all be honest. And my dad would play it with me. My parents would. And then we moved, and my friend also had an N64.
Yep.
Who lived right behind me. Ended up being my best friend. He had his, and so we started like hanging out more, and we go to Blockbuster on Fridays and rent a game. And we rented Sarge's Heroes. I think that was on the N64. I'm pretty sure it was. But we rented GoldenEye as well. And that's really where it got started.
Yeah. I sucked at GoldenEye. That was
me too.
That was before I had figured out. Well, and I was still like a teenager, but I at that point was not interested in shooters. But that's what everybody wanted to play if we got together. It's like, hey, let's get GoldenEye out. Let's try that out, and I just couldn't hang. So
it was a lot of fun because we would do more of the weird modes, like you had paintball mode, you had like all those weird extra, I guess, cheat modes you could turn on in the game.
Fathead mode.
Oh yeah, that last mission where you had to kill the guy on that flying thing, that was great with Fathead mode.
You know, like cheats like that, like big head mode, little body mode, like just stuff like that. That just it's not harming anybody. Jack and Daxter games used to have those kind of cheat codes. Like bring those back. Like whatever happened to those? You know, I know we have modern now, but you know,
it's different now because people. They don't want to cheat to make it funny. They want to cheat to win in a game. Whereas I'm down for like you said, like cheats that make it hilarious or make it just weird.
Yeah, like why can't I play Last of Us Part 1 with big head mode on? You know?
You know, I'll be honest. I don't think Last of Us would be a good one for big head mode because the monsters will also have big head mode. And that I feel like that would be terrifying.
We don't need any more detail on the clickers.
Yeah, no. Can you imagine that though? Just
no.
Whew, yeah. Or imagine big head mode in GTFO.
No.
Oh, and big head tentacles. The tentacles fly out of their head, but they're big head tentacles, so it's just like another head. Hey, whoever made that game, hit me up. I'll give you some design options.
Yeah, these are great ideas we're coming up with here. So after the N64, where did you go from there?
Well, actually, I forgot about this. Around the same time, I got a Game Boy Pocket, the little small neon green one.
Oh gosh, Game Boy Pocket.
That was what came before the color.
Yeah.
After the original, it was fantastic. I have it. My parents have it somewhere, but I don't have the battery back part of it, because like I would take it to daycare all the time, and we would all play we'd all play Pokemon or show off. And I had the little Game Boy camera with the printer, and so like we would take pictures and print it off. It was just all kinds of stuff like that. I went from there though into just more Game Boys, the color, the advance. I didn't go SP because about that time, my friend got a GameCube, and so that's what we play. And I got a PS2, and so we played those two things 90% of the time, no matter what it was. Like I told you, I was telling Jake earlier. Took us 3 years to beat StarCraft Adventures on the what was that on the
StarCraft or Star Fox?
Sorry, Star Fox Adventures, not StarCraft. Oh gosh, StarCraft Adventures would suck. Star Fox Adventures. There was this one mission where you had to push the guy, had to like do the little balance thing, and you just had to tap the button like in a specific, like just in a rhythm, not just like slamming it. And we didn't know that, and we even had the cheat guide. We went and bought the walkthrough guide book. You know, used to have those.
Yeah.
And it told us to do that, and we still didn't do it. And then 3 years later, I was just sitting there. We decided to pop it in one day because we were bored, and I was just slowly tapping the button, but within a specific rhythm, and we won, or we beat that. And they were like, "Wow, 3 years."
3 years, no big deal. Yeah, Star Fox Adventures was my first Star Fox game, and it's kind of the only one that I've like really enjoyed. But it's obviously nothing like any other Star Fox game. So I kind of have a weird relationship with Star Fox because of that one.
Yeah, it's like it's basically in person, like first person, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
I forget there was one. There was another one that I think still came out on GameCube. It was like Star Fox Assault, something like that.
Look it up.
I played that one with like Brody and I think maybe Steven. But that's one we rented one night and played. And it was pretty fun, but I was just like, yo, where's my man Tricky? Where's my staff that shoots lasers? Like, that's what I want to do. And it just never. They do have Tricky in that. You go to Dinosaur Planet for a second, but he's like all grown up. You don't walk around. You fly around. It was just fine. It's just fine.
I was like, you reminded me about the staff. I remember all that. Man, that was a fun game. And the best thing was a lot of these games, I just watched my friend Michael play because it was one player. So what else were we going to do?
Right.
And that's also who got me into computer gaming because he had, his parents had a computer for him and his sister. Like they each had one. And he started playing computer games on it. And he started playing Guild Wars, the original Guild Wars, with all the expansions. So I started playing that with him. That kind of got me into that. That was fun. But the only thing with that one was the only time I could, like I had a computer and I could kind of play it, but it was kind of really bad graphics wise.
Right.
So I had to wait until his sister wasn't playing on her computer and then I could use that one. And then, yeah, it was great. Steven agrees. It was fun times back then. Yeah, a lot of the gaming. Oh, and so on my PS2 though, the first game I got on that was 007 Nightfall, and that is my favorite game ever. Jake, ask him more about Guild Wars. He's just mad because I'm a char and he's a filthy Ascalonian scum. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's funny to me that you got introduced into PC gaming that quickly. Because like other than like The Sims, like I really didn't play games on my computer. I was strictly N64. I think we eventually got a GameCube and then a PS2, which I got. I laughed when you. I forget what game you said for PS2, but I got mine for Kingdom Hearts. So it's like you and I were on opposite ends of the spectrum of what we were trying to play.
My buddy Michael also played that one too. He was basically kind of on your end of the games. He had all the stuff, like all the consoles, computers, and everything, but he went that way. He did Rome Total War, Empire Total War, Age of Empires. He got me onto RuneScape. What else did we? There was another game. It was like the whole Total War franchise was really what his big thing was, and all the strategy games. Which was just looking back, it's like a lot of the times whenever I couldn't play the game, I would just sit there and watch.
Right.
And I was content with it. And I was just chilling.
Yeah.
There's nothing to do.
Yeah.
Just hang out.
It's funny how that experience has kind of translated into like people live streaming now. I think about that all the time because that's exactly how Brody and I used to be. We'd go to, like you said, go to Blockbuster. We had a Hollywood Video. I don't know if you ever went to that Hollywood Video, but we'd go there. We'd browse, find a game or two, and then we'd go home and spend the whole weekend just playing whatever it was. And we always had whoever, if you die, you hand off the controller, and that's the next person's turn to play. And so it was really intense whenever one of us was doing really good and just wasn't dying. I was like, man, I'm never gonna play. So,
yeah, we tried that. It didn't work out. So I was just like, look, I can just sit here, watch him. I'll get to play a game eventually. Like we'll play some multiplayer game or something. We were really big. He was, like I said, all into all the strategy type stuff and like military type games. Just all kinds of stuff like that.
Right.
So one of our favorite series though to play together, which we played a lot, especially after we actually got the games, was the conflict series, like Conflict Desert Storm, Conflict Vietnam, things like that. Medal of Honor, Rising Sun. We played the heck out of all of those. Like, I mean, Vietnam was kind of iffy because just the Conflict Desert Storm,
right.
like there'd be sometimes we couldn't go. Generally, if one of us was in trouble for grades.
Someone's always in trouble with grades, right?
Yeah, it's like, oh, you can't play GameCube for 6 weeks. Oh, that was the longest because they live behind us. So his
Right.
parents told my parents. And so we thought we could get around it by him just coming over and playing games.
Mm.
I was like, no, you can't play either. He suffers, you suffer. I was like,
Oh man, that sucks.
yeah. I mean, they were. I mean, I spent so much time with him. I basically lived there, and so
Gotcha.
yeah, I know nobody's really thought about Conflict Desert Storm in a long time because it's that. I mean, it was that long ago that it was out.
Yeah, I've never heard of that one.
You haven't?
Mm-mm.
Oh, you
Mm-mm.
should look it up. It's great. Wonder if they have it on here. If they have that, that'd be
Those
great.
like old school, like tactical games, that sort of stuff. Like it just is a whole genre and history that I just don't have anything of. Have either of you heard of a PS2 game called Project Eden? It sounds really familiar.
It does sound real familiar.
I
I'm
don't
about to
think I
Google it.
played it or did anything with it.
Oh wow, it was very popped up. What is this? I don't think we played this one.
Mm.
Oh no, you ain't getting me on this site, homie. Chill out. No, you tried.
You tried.
It did. It looks really familiar. We might have done it. I know we did Killzone. Is that what it is? Maybe. I mean, we may. I mean, again, I don't. This looks kind of familiar. I know we played, or he played. I watched Killzone.
I definitely did not play this and did not know anything like this existed.
Let me message him. He might know. Like, did we play this? He doesn't have great memory, but what he does remember are games.
Right.
Like, what else? I mean, there was so many games, and then the Great Awakening, as we would all call it, the Xbox 360. I know it's a long gap in there, but we just kind of dealt with it.
Right.
And played GameCube, played N64, played computer games. I think that was really when we both kicked off heavier into computer games.
Mm.
I think. I mean, honestly, this was years ago, like early 2000s. Man, it was fun.
Yeah.
It's just like the like playing Age of Empires, like just watching people play games. Better than sitting at home playing a game by myself. Another actually PS2 game that was great was another James Bond one. It was From Russia with Love.
Mm.
And that was, we basically raced in that map. He and I would just want like place because we didn't have internet on that or anything. So we would play 1v1 on that map. And it basically became who can run up the silo to the launch control and launch the missile with the other person in the room faster. That's all we did.
That's awesome.
And it was great. I loved that game. I have it somewhere.
So you went from PS2 to Xbox 360. So you jumped ships
mid PC in there. We stayed on PC for a little bit. Still stayed on PC after the 360, but yeah.
Gotcha. Awesome. Well, what's like
that was it.
If you had to pick one or two games to be like your favorite games of all time, what would you throw in there?
Ooh. All right, this is gonna be a hot take because this was like something I've spent, probably like 2,000-3,000 hours in over the years. Minecraft.
Okay. Yeah.
That is, in terms of hours, that's probably my number one. And I enjoyed. It was mostly creative mode, to be specific.
Mm-hmm.
I just liked building things. I played a lot with people, with friends. Modded. I didn't like. I did not like. What was survival, I guess, or vanilla. That's what it is. Sorry, vanilla mode. I like modded, where you can like do like computers, like you can put actual computers in the game. Like there's one mod where you just have a Lua terminal and you can just run Lua commands and like program more fun things. But I want to. That's like just like the all time one. Like, but like in terms of like, I had the most fun like playing with friends and all that. 100% it would be Guild Wars. Not Guild Wars, shoot. Sorry. Gears of War.
Gears of War.
Wars.
Okay, yeah.
Gears of War. Yeah, we played the heck out of that. There was I think it was like mid 2000s. We had a snowstorm here. And I only remember that because my buddy Keith, who was a senior and I was a sophomore, he and I, he stayed with me a lot and I stayed with him. Me and Michael both did. But he got me and him, we got in the car after we stayed up all night trying to beat General Ram on on insanity mode. We finally did. It was a lot. And then we went to Starbucks in the snow. So, just in terms of like how much time I spent in that game, it was definitely Guild War. Oh God, staying at Steven. Which Gears game was your favorite?
He's in your brain.
That would be the second one, I think, because I think the second one's where you had to fight Ram, right? Let's see, General Ram.
Gears of War is another one that I never really got into.
Really?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, but I never played any of those. But that's because I never went to the 360 generation. I stayed on PlayStation all the way.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe this. It was the first one, I think. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's the one we liked the most. You want to know my least favorite Guild Wars? Or Steven, this is your fault.
Gears of War.
Gears of War. My favorite my least favorite Gears of War game is 5.
That's what's the one that just came out, or like
5
a year ago? 5, yeah. I heard a lot of people didn't like that one. It's kind of so
because they brought kids. It's like Marcus's kid, and I don't want to. Quick spoiler alert: if you want to like mute for a second, I'll give you like a hands up when you come back. Because they
Lily,
kill.
Why is 6 afraid of 7?
Why was 6 afraid of 7?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Do you know, Matt?
I do not know.
I can only imagine the answer. But okay, sorry, continue.
Because 7, 8, 9. I like that. I like that. We need to save that one. Steven comments, that's a funny Steven. I can't believe I'm having a baby on Monday night. How dare he? Instead of joining here. 5, because you either have to kill Phoenix's son or the other guy. And the story kind of doesn't make sense. Really, anything after 1, 2, I think it was 2 is cool because you get to go to that research facility where they made them. I forget what the monsters are called, but they made them. Then you do a big fight there. But then it just was just getting bad. I didn't like the 5. It was definitely they've been holding on to some franchises for too long. In my opinion,
that is something I was just about to say. It's like it really stinks when a franchise just overstays its welcome, and like it's a really rare case when a franchise can last a long time and still do well. Like Doctor Strange is one of the ones that I always kind of reference, and it's because they set it up to where they can have all new actors every season, and it makes sense, and they can continue a story. That's just such I think one of the greatest like narrative accidents to be successful. But yeah, stuff like that. Like once you're hitting which Final Fantasy is, I guess, a little different too because it's all over the place. But what did I say? Steven said I meant Doctor Who. That's what I thought I said.
He can't hear things.
Did I say Doctor Strange? I swear
you did,
I said Doctor Who.
You definitely said Strange, and I was going to wait. I was like
Doctor Who.
I mean Doctor Strange. I mean, let's be fair. Doctor Who though, real quick. I mean, they had to take like a 50-year break, right? Like so
something like that. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, no, it's like, and even Kingdom Hearts, like I've kind of hit the point with Kingdom Hearts now where I'm just like, you know what? This is so deep into my childhood. I'm just going to enjoy whatever they put out. But I really was kind of hoping they would be done with it at the end of 3, just because it's like, okay, I think we're starting to get to the point where we're saying our welcome with this series and this franchise. But oh well, I'm just going to ride it. Ride it till I'm 85, and then, I'll have lived with this whole franchise. So
you'll have to get a new console just for the game to play it, but it'll still be worth it. I mean, honestly, it's worth it as long as you're having fun playing those games.
Yeah, no, that's the big thing. So, let's see. So, do you have any like least favorite games, like games you just hate?
Oh boy, there are many. Depending on the day, Call of Duty. Just at this point, all of it. Used to like it. I liked Call of Duty because of the campaigns. I played the campaigns. Obviously that died out a while ago. And then I got into Warzone and I suck like real bad. So
yeah,
it's like whenever I get like a good lobby. Yeah, but so that one's on the list of games I just don't want to play. Oh, Destiny 2.
Okay.
and here's why I'm gonna say Destiny 2 before everybody, stabs me.
No one's gonna
I
stab you here for saying that.
oh, you never know. Someone could really
I
love
I
Destiny
I
2.
feel the stab in my heart from you saying that, but I understand.
It was the 6-hour raid, 2 nights in a row
Mm.
to beat. I think it was Vault of Glass. And here's Destiny 2 and grabs popcorn. Well, you know what, Steven?
Oh
This one's
yeah,
here for
Vault
you.
of Glass. Yeah.
That one, and then we did like what is it? Stone the Crypt, uh, Stone Deep Crypt, something weird like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Deep Stone Crypt is what it is. My friends that I play with, my other group of friends, because I got two groups of friends now. It's kind of but they loved Destiny for about 2 months, and that was all they played,
Mm.
like every night. And I can snitch on them because they won't get in trouble. But they did. They would like play it during the middle of the day,
Yeah.
like, and they're trying to get this like loot, and it's just like, guys, this is a living hell for me, sitting here until 3, 4 in the morning, only to give up at
Right.
4 in the morning and have to go to the next one and have to go to the next one. It was fun to win them,
Right.
but it got repetitive and got old real fast. Jake yelled at me in a raid for no reason, and it's a core memory. I mean,
Yeah.
don't you yell at him for no reason?
I have only done one of the raids, and it was just a raid layer, right, which is supposed to be the shorter raids from
I believe you.
Destiny
I know about
2.
that.
It was supposed to be shorter. I don't know that we ever made it a shorter experience, but we only did one. We did it once with a group and failed. That might have been the one I yelled at you, Steven. I don't remember. We were hitting a wall at the end, at the big final fight. We just could not get it together. And then we did it again later with a different crew, and we were able to pull it off that time. But Steven said, "I don't yell. I state things sternly."
I think the shorts would beg to differ there, Steven.
It's anyway, it was, yeah, I totally get that. And I was gonna say that might be why I've enjoyed that's a moment I should try to go find for a TikTok, Steven, is when I yelled at you. I don't know that it's funny, but
The one time you yell at him
it was
on stream.
really intense. It was just,
Yeah,
tensions were high, but I'm right there with you. Like I wish that raids were more accessible, because that is the worst when, and like I kind of like how Ghost of Tsushima Legends. Did you ever play Ghost of Tsushima Legends?
I did not.
Oh man,
But I've seen some clips of it being played.
it's so much fun. But anyway, I liked how they did their raid. They broke it up into like 4 chapters.
Yes, that's perfect.
Yeah, and like, I mean, it was a 2, 3, maybe 4 hour experience a chapter, but you complete that chapter. Hey, that chapter's done for whatever the period of time was. So you could always come back later and try to finish the other chapters. But the raids are
Was it
just
longer
such
than a
a
week?
commitment.
The
I
reset.
forget, honestly. I think it's probably a week is probably the realistic answer, but
But you
I
can still
forget.
come back to like you beat chapter 1. You did, like, if you hit the deadline, like, can you just continue from chapter 1 the next week, or do you have to start all the way over?
I forget if it worked that way or not, but either way, you didn't have to do it all at once, because that was just a lot. But that's my biggest pet peeve with raids, is that they're so hard that there's always some gimmick that is just way complicated that you have to get perfectly, and then just the time consumption of it is just rough. But anyway,
Those, like, for me, the last one I remember doing, and I just absolutely hated it. I think there was 2. It may have been the same one. There was one you had to fight. You had to shoot the oracles. You're in this giant, like, diamond-shaped map, and you'd have to go like into portals and fight and do the oracles in order or something. And then there was one where you had to go into this room where one side was white, one side was black. You had to go underground and like do something with heat stuff and like killing all the things in order.
yeah.
And that's Vault of Glass. The one where you have the black side and the white side. I think that maybe
didn't do
the
enough
diamond
raids
one.
to know.
But that one is what killed me, because I figured out how to glitch on top of the map, whatever, and still kill things. The oracles one, yeah, I hated that one. It was nice to find when we did beat Vault of Glass, and it felt great at 4 in the morning to have beaten Vault of Glass. Be like, all right, I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
But that stupid black and white one, that did it for me. I was on top of the map, and they were still able to kill me. I was basically because all my friends had gotten like the maximum level, and I only ever got just enough high level to get into
To
the
do
raid.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I was just getting like one shots. That's why I tried to stay on the map, and then they kept killing me on top of the map, even though I'm pretty sure they shouldn't have been able to. But I shouldn't have been on top of the map. But either way, uh, that kind of did it for me. And then they played it for a little bit longer, and then we all finally moved on to any other game because I was like, I can't, guys.
Yeah. No, it's rough. I wish it was more accessible. But anyway, well, interesting. Well, what about movies? Let's start with movies. What are some of your favorite movies?
Oh gosh.
Like core memory favorite movies growing up.
Okay,
Kind of
Hercules.
okay. All right.
That's a favorite one for as a from childhood on.
Mm-hmm.
There's this old VHS that Walt Grayson did for a series called Mississippi Ghosts. And my mom's parents had it at their house, and I literally would watch that as a kid at least once a day when I stay with them, and I stay with them a lot.
Uh-huh.
We would alternate between my mom's parents and my dad's parents for the summer, basically just swapping back and forth, and then like with my parents. Who would win in a fight, Hercules or Stitch? Well, if it's after Hercules saves Meg, then Hercules, but before he goes up to Olympus, Hercules. And even then, he's still a demigod. So Hercules.
Y'all are crazy. Stitch would
now,
totally win.
Stitch would not win.
Stitch
What
would
do
win.
you mean?
Stitch would win.
No, Stitch
and Hercules are on the same strength level.
I don't think so.
I know so. I know so.
Yep. Steven, you're agreeing with who?
He agrees with you. This was one of the character tournaments that we did. I fought for probably 30 minutes that Stitch would beat Hercules.
Stitch could not beat Hercules.
I had to. He is just as strong, if not stronger, than Hercules. So.
There's no way because
Plus,
Hercules.
but he's definitely smarter. So, not that Hercules is stupid, but
yeah, no, he
Stitch
is pretty dumb.
Is supposed to be a genius.
But let's just say that
also Stitch is indestructible. You know.
Let's talk about Hercules whenever he was a god for that temporary time.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we're talking about being invincible, we have to do it where Hercules would also be invincible. Hercules is truly invincible as a god. So he would just be like, "Hey, pops, throw a little zoom down on Stitch and let's just end this."
Yeah.
And then, because I mean, hey, you can phone a friend in if you're Hercules and Stitch. Stitch is going to call in all 600 and whatever of his brothers and sisters.
625.
Yeah, he was 626. Yeah, 625
mm-hmm.
other. I feel like they were trying to go for 666, but they didn't want to risk it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I totally get that.
How he get handcuffed?
If Stitch is so strong, how did he get handcuffed? Whatever.
Hercules. I mean, let's be honest. So Hercules got tricked by two little monsters and was it two? No, he got tricked by Hades to give up his power temporarily.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends. Are we talking about like wits? As if it's wits, I mean Stitch will win.
We'd have to see with pure strength. This is why we have the wheel now, because this helps determine
the great equalizer.
Wins, yes. Okay, well, cool. That's cool to know the Hercules though too, because that's Lee Allison's favorite. I don't know if it's her favorite Disney movie, but she loves "Go the Distance." That song from Hercules. So
it's fantastic. Their music is amazing in that one.
Oh yeah, Zero to Hero.
Yes.
Holy cow, amazing.
The A Star Is Born, the last song they play.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so good. Just great.
Yeah,
great all around.
The Muses were a great gimmick throughout that whole
yes
movie. They make it musically for sure.
They and then you play God of War and you're like, wait, these are not, this is not like right. Hercules. This shouldn't be here. That was in 7th grade we had to do mythology, and that's where you learned like the real mythology of Hercules. It really bummed me out.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I was like, dang, now that Hercules, Stitch would win 100%.
You know what drives me?
That dude was an idiot.
You know what drives me crazy, Matt, is that the high school and I guess just elementary education, any kind of mythology you learn about, it's always the Roman mythology. Like when I started, Marvel really was kind of the catalyst for this. I think for me, when they introduced Thor and suddenly like lots of things started. Oh yeah, this is Norse mythology. Let's talk about Norse mythology. I was just like, where was this shit? Like this is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like why did, not that Greek mythology isn't cool or Roman mythology isn't cool, but when that's all you've studied throughout high school, man, I chomped at the bit for anything Norse that I could learn about or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it's such an annoying thing.
Yeah, we didn't learn that at all either. Anything about Norse, just strictly, Greek. Was that? Yeah, they're Greek, right? We just learned basically Greek, and then if you wanted to learn, you had the option to take a class,
Mm-hmm.
but like in my high school, um, your history choices were kind of limited on like what year. So like in 11th grade, I did AP US history, which is when I would have also could have done mythology. But I had to drop it one of my other electives for like band or something, and I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
So like you have to basically you could do it, sure, but you have to sacrifice this other class that you might want, or like
Right.
if
Really
you wanted
want.
to take like pre-cal, like well,
Ugh.
you're gonna have to cut something else.
Yeah. So Steven says that Anna, who is literally in the process of giving birth, is looking up if switch on a wiki, and this is true. His weakness is water. He can't swim.
So Hurt could just yeet him into the ocean, and he
Yeah,
would
I mean,
win,
if he yeeted him in the ocean, Switch would have a really hard time getting back out. So
or just poured water on him.
no, it's not like that. He's not like the Wicked Witch of the West. He's not going to just melt to water. He just can't swim, and he's afraid of water because he can't swim.
So what if we put him in a glass cage and dropped him in the ocean? He would be made it so he could still breathe, whatever. Who cares?
Okay.
But surrounded by water, he can never escape, because to get out, he would have to get in the water.
Yeah. He's very dense, so he can't float. That's part of his thing. No, Stitch would not lose to an iceberg. He doesn't.
100%. He would. The iceberg is made of water,
guys.
but it's frozen.
Guys, whatever.
See, Steven he's still coming back in. Like, he don't even have to be here, and he can still just throw it in. Throw a wrench.
Really sore about the iceberg. He thought that would be a one and done joke, and it was a two and done joke, and it bothers him, I think.
Listen, he just, he's right though, because an iceberg would beat Stitch because it's made of water. And so if Stitch is on a boat, right, and he's going to be on a boat of some kind to be fighting an iceberg. It's just, you got to be. And all the iceberg's got to do is pull a Titanic 101 and just kind of cut the bottom out of it, and then boom, we got to reverse jack. I'm just prompting conversation. I like this conversation though, because we can talk about past battles that we feel maybe didn't go fairly or anything.
Oh, there's
just saying,
plenty of those. Okay, so Hercules. What are some other favorite movies, man?
I think honestly that one, and man, I'm really bad at thinking about these things. Also,
movies is always a hard question, because it's like, what's my favorite movie? I really like. I would have to ask like year, like hone it in, especially when I was in high school, when I had time to watch a lot of movies.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been really hard for me. Like right now, mine would be the Batman, like the most recent Batman with Robert Pattinson.
Yeah,
like that's probably my favorite movie that I've seen on the last year or two. But
I would say my favorite, like just kind of doing like recently, I would probably say I most enjoyed. Is Interstellar the one where they're on the ship?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Taylor and I watched that right before we got married. No, the other one, the one with Chris Pratt. What is that one? And Jennifer Lawrence.
Chris
Pratt. It was like, I swear it started with an I. Let me look it up. Oh, look, Chris Pratt. Picture of him. Thank you, Google, for listening to me.
Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence.
Shut up, Google.
Passengers. Steven says.
Yes, that Taylor and I loved that one. That was a great one.
They're in space.
Mm-hmm. They're on a kind of like a Wall-E. They're on a starship that's supposed to be taking them to a.
But he wakes up from cryo sleep early. Yep. Okay. Yeah.
It malfunctions because he hits like a spoiler alert. But he hits they hit like I guess a meteorite or something, and the shield doesn't compensate. Worst fear ever flying in a ship, would be that happening, because you're kind of screwed at that point.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we're done.
Yeah. Ugh.
That one was good though, just because that we both liked that one. Um, and then I say just one other would be The Great Gatsby,
Mm.
the original one. I liked the original one.
Like
This
the
new one's got some good music, but the original one was, good, better, I guess, for me to watch in high school. It was like we watched it in English.
yeah.
And that was just fantastic. And speaking of English books, favorite book all time, Great Expectations.
Really?
I was always big in reading. I did really good on reading on the ACT and all that. So whenever we would have those, I would read those and just love it. Great Expectations was great because did not expect it to happen. Did not know there was an OG Gatsby. There is. There's also an OG Romeo and Juliet that they showed in my ninth grade school, and the teacher forgot to cover the quote inappropriate end quote parts of the movie.
Nice.
But she was also pregnant and probably had her mind on planning to have a child.
Yeah.
So that was, and also real quick, having a pregnant teacher was bad because she always wanted the air off.
Ooh, what?
She always wanted the air off in the room. The air was always turned off.
Like she was cold and she
Yep.
wanted it hot?
Yep.
I
And they were
don't
just sweating.
I don't think that woman might have had problems because
I think she did.
I don't know that a pregnant woman I don't know that's necessarily a pregnancy thing because Lee Allison was always hot, needed the air on.
Mm-hmm. Well, so was Taylor, but this lady was just like, you know what? I'm not even going to turn the fans on. Like, this was an old school, so you had like the fans and then the little air conditioner you had to like push the switch up on.
Dang.
With like your stick.
Yeah.
Oh, that was miserable.
Jeez, that's rough.
Yeah, that one was my favorite book.
That's such an interesting favorite book. Because I read it for school. And I like it. I mean, it's a classic story. It's great. I don't know if I'd say it's my favorite though. I don't know what I would say for books. That's a rough one for me. Did you ever read the Aragon series?
I did not. That was something my friend Michael read though.
Like that maybe is my favorite series that I've read, other than like maybe Harry Potter. But I am not a big reader. I am slow. It'll take me months to get through one book.
Well, I mean, that's good because that gives you plenty of time to get through Harry Potter again.
Yeah. Plenty
You're
of
like,
time.
why Harry Potter? Well, because, it's never not the right time to watch Harry Potter or read Harry Potter again.
That's true.
That was a good series.
Yeah.
That was a good book series and a good movie series, honestly. Like, those were good too. I hate how they left stuff out. And Steven, I think, pointed that out when we were talking about it maybe last week. How they just kind of dropped things out of it.
Yeah, the books were so much better.
Yes.
Now you're making me think of Hogwarts Legacy. I'm so excited for that game. Steven had a good question too about what was your favorite movie going experience? So like favorite theater experience.
All right. So before the one in my town became a drug den and then got bought by a church.
Okay.
Yeah, that happened at one point. This movie called Game Over. Well, there's two times. One was in high school, and I actually took my now wife to a movie. We saw, I think it's Blades of Glory or whatever. It's got Will Ferrell in it. He's an ice skater.
The comedy.
Yep, we saw that one. But then my other favorite one was I was in like junior high. I went with this girl, and we went and saw Game Over, and everybody in that theater just terrified the whole time because it was so good. It's basically you play a video game, and whenever you die in the game and how you die is how you immediately or close to immediately die in real life.
Jeez.
Yeah. And so like there was one scene I remember. What do I have? There was one scene I specifically remember.
Steven, you and I are on the same wavelength. I thought he was talking about Spy Kids 3 as well. But then when he didn't say Spy Kids, I was like, no, wait. There was another movie that was scary called Game Over. And then you started telling it. And I was like, yep, that's what he's talking about. So anyway, sorry.
Yeah. So Game Over is just, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Because you like there's one scene where they're in I think a thing like claps all their heads together and like slashes all their heads, and they get into a truck, and then I think if I remember correctly, you see that's like the whole game is based around there's this plantation home, and there's like a tower in the back, and you have to get up there and kill her, if I remember correctly. And so whenever you're about to die, you see her ghost or whatever, her demon, whatever. And then like that death was just, you think salt's a lot, or not salt, not salt. Saw is a lot. You need to, that was a lot.
I don't do scary. I can't do scary movies.
It was more gore and jump scare. It wasn't like necessarily scary because at the end, like they obviously win, which was kind of sad because I was hoping they could like turn it into another one because they basically went and fought a guy like a not a guy, like a very powerful demon, and they like killed her pretty quickly. And it's like how? But yeah, so but like the crazy part is it was like I think it used to be an orphanage at the plantation home, but like the lady, the main villain, somehow has a game made, and the game is distributed and all. It's like it's hugely popular in the world, and like it's like how did that happen?
Yeah,
because she did. So how's she going to like go over there and be like, hey guys, look, like I want you to program
how'd she
this.
get the funding for this? Yeah.
Yeah, where's the funding? Let me see the source code because I'm kind of iffy on that. Like, are you stealing private information? Like, let's see, oh,
She's mining using the computers in the background.
don't get me started on that. No. I mean, some people do that and that's fine, but I just don't trust the people who made the software for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no.
But my other favorite game, I just remembered time frame area, Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, both of those two.
Good classics.
The Sierra Madre Casino DLC in New Vegas. That was so hard to fight, so hard to win. For the longest time, I was stuck at the top of a stairwell with one of those little creepy walking things at the bottom, and I had 4 like C4s. That's all I had. And so I ended up finally being able to I finally killed them. Took like weeks. Because I'm just not. I mean, I'm not like great at games,
right?
But it eventually got one.
You were handicapped there a little bit, so
yeah. I lost my hand at that point. Had to get a new one re-put on. It's wild. It sounds like a creepypasta pitch. It probably is.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's how it started. Fallout 4 was my first Fallout, and I could not get past whatever the big decision where you join a side. The
Brotherhood versus the Institute.
Yeah, I couldn't. I could not make the decision, so that was where I ended. It just nothing ever happened. So, that's funny. My favorite movie going experience would have been. I've got 2 as well, but seeing Avengers in theater at a midnight release. That was just awesome. The energy was amazing. I don't know that the energy will ever be that high again. Like even Endgame, which had amazing moments. I don't know. Maybe Endgame would be the only thing that maybe would come close to that energy at the first Avengers midnight showing. That was great. And then another one that I have is our local theater was doing a Toy Story marathon before Toy Story. I forget if it was 3 or 4. It must have been 3. And so they were doing all 3 movies. And if I feel like it was an all-day thing that you were doing, but they had these fun intermissions, intermissions between the movies where the Toy Story characters came on screen and they played games with anyone who just wanted to sit in the audience. And it wasn't like interactive. Like I couldn't like say something to them, but like there was things happening. It was just so fun. It was just a cool, like, I spent a whole day doing that by myself, but it was a lot of fun. So,
I actually just dropped a link in chat. Then, real quick, the name of the movie, I was wrong. It is Stay Alive. Speaking of Fallout 4, Fallout 4, I mean, I beat it. I just didn't like the story. Like,
yeah.
Like, you're suddenly, like, I get it, cryostasis, whatever, but, I mean, everybody else is alive, and your son's, like, super old now. But the people who kidnapped him look the same when you finally, find them. And also, that I kind of was like, you know what? I didn't even buy any of the DLC for that game. And then Fallout 76 came out, and I really wanted to get that. And then I heard like the first reviews were just garbage. The stun silence when everyone is dusting.
Yeah, the dusting was pretty rough. Another another fond theater memory is seeing the conclusion to the Twilight series.
Hmm.
I don't know if you ever read those books or anything, Matt, but
No.
the final fight that happens in that movie does not happen in the books. It all happens. They build up for this fight, and then it
Hmm.
ends up they just kind of talk it out, and everything's good. So when shit started popping off in the movie, I was with Brody and his now wife Alex Ann, and we were all screaming. We were just like, "What is happening? People are dying left and right. What is going on?" We were freaking out. So anyway,
And that ended the series, right? Like that was the
yeah,
last.
that
Yeah,
was
that's
it.
probably why they wanted to kill everybody else. Well, at least they killed everybody
Well,
else, so they couldn't do a
well. So what happens is they get to the end of the fight, the
Mhm.
heroes win, and then it turns out that this one of the characters, her ability is that she can show the future, and so she showed the villain character,
Oh
"This
no.
is your future if you turn against us." And so what happens in the book, which is he says, "You know what? We'll let it slide just as once," and then leaves. That's what happens. So anyway, it all
I mean,
made
I
sense. It all came back, but it put some really cool action in the movie. So
I will say that kind of like way to bring it in. I like that. Like
yeah,
it's not really like part like you're not killing people off that you shouldn't be killing off. You're kind of doing the action that you want to end it with while still maintaining like what you were supposed to have in the book. So,
yeah, it may be the best thing that the movies ever did for that whole series. So anyway,
which I mean, not a bad series. My wife and my sister and my other sister all read those. So
yeah, yeah,
I actually have some of the books in there.
yeah. The books are pretty good. The movies are okay. The movies are hilarious to watch now. Um, they're just so funny. But anyway, what about TV shows, Matt? What are some of your favorite TV shows?
All right, I got this easy.
Okay.
Stargate Atlantis, Stargate
Okay.
Universe, actually all Stargate, but Stargate SG-1. I don't remember what season it is. Whenever what is his name? When Daniel becomes ascends
Mm-hmm.
and then comes back down, and then they start getting new people. You just get rid of it after that.
Mm.
Um, Stargate Atlantis, except for the last season because they ruined it to cancel it.
Mm.
Stargate Universe, the second season because they were going to kill it, and they actually made it good, in my opinion. First season was all right, and then they unlocked the main room, and it was like could have been cool. Um, and movies that I kind of like cycle through these movies. These TV shows, and like we'll rewatch them.
Mm-hmm.
Eureka's good. Warehouse 13. New Girl.
Oh man, New
How
Girl.
it's great. How I Met Your Mother, and I think there's probably one more that I'm forgetting. Oh, Ghost Hunter Classic from Sci-Fi Channel. A lot of Sci-Fi Channel, mostly Sci-Fi Channel actually, except for New Girl and How I Met Your Mother.
If New Girl was on Sci-Fi, that'd be a wild ride.
Listen, listen. I probably would have watched it and then
Yeah.
been like, "Man, this is great." But Schmidt is hilarious. He's my favorite. Um,
Yep. Schmidt and Nick. It's just a great combo.
we named our Roomba Schmidt. His name is Schmidt, and Hayes is learning to speak, and so he's terrified of Schmidt. So he goes, "Mitt, go, Mitt, go." And that means
Mitt,
he wants us to
go.
turn Schmidt on,
Uh huh.
and then he's like, "Mitt, stop, stay." He'll tell Schmidt to stay just because he's like scared. He'll see him. It's super cute. But yeah, Schmidt's
Cute.
hilarious. Like pine is the wood of outhouses and poor people. Bathtubs are medieval filth cauldrons.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
Whenever Winston tells him that he can't go smelling, what is it? He can't go smelling other people's something. It's such a great show.
Yeah.
My truck has OnStar, and in the app you have to give your car a name, your vehicle, and his name is Ferguson Leandre Bishop, kind of a mixture of Ferguson and then Winston, because Ferguson's also one of the best characters ever because he never says anything,
Uh huh. Uh huh.
but man, Winston just. I mean, like the little bowls for all of the people in the apartment, Schmidt and Cece, like, and then finally Nick and Jen. I hate how they ended it though. Like, I hate that it ended.
Yeah.
But I guess it really did reach its end. It needed to go.
Well, so now
Um,
what's the end? You just hate that it ended, or you hate how it ended?
yeah. Oh, the ending. I think the ending's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
With the kids?
it. Yeah, it
Yeah.
definitely felt rushed. Well, no, and also Winston pranking them.
Oh yeah, at the end, yeah.
That part was funny. It's just like they definitely were rushing the end of the season there. Like you could tell that they didn't make it past the mid-season.
Well,
So they were like,
if I remember the story correctly, I've heard is it Jake Johnson? Is that right? Is that his name?
Nick.
Nick, and then Zoe Deschanel. They have talked about in interviews about how basically whatever network had basically canceled it after their kiss in the elevator in the next to last season, and basically Nick and Jess fought. Well, I guess really in the whole cast fought for like we've got to do a better ending than that. And so I'm pretty sure the network, and it might have even been Netflix. Like Netflix may have picked it up for the last season, but basically they were just like, "Hey, here's your budget, just make it happen." So I think the cast had a lot of say in how that all went down. So yeah, I hate that it ended, but I thought it was a great ending.
Yeah,
for the show.
It was a good wrap, a nice solid wrap up. Kind of like How I Met Your Mother could have been if they hadn't given us the crappy ending.
Man, I have never seen. I've maybe seen half an episode of How I Met Your Mother, but
it's so good.
The conclusion of that show is probably. I hear more about that one, not how that one was so bad, than something than like Game of Thrones. Like,
they made both of them. They made both endings for the show.
Really?
Yeah. So apparently, the kids in the beginning. Obviously you had to keep the kids the same age for all 10 seasons.
Right.
So the kids knew the ending and they made two endings because you can go watch like the other ending, which is spoiler alert for everybody, which I never told you to come back from the spoiler alert, but whatever.
Come back and go away.
There's two endings. She lives and she dies. Yeah. Well, there was two endings though, and they could have used the other one. They should have used the other one. Like the whole point of the show is not supposed to be, even though, let's be realistic. If you've never seen it, quick explanation is that every single episode, all the way up to the end, before you finally meet the mother, is about Robin and Ted. Never about the mother. And I kind of get like the fact of it being like a quick story, and them basically it's just like Ted asking to go like date Robin or whatever, or get Robin again. But they should have kept the ending where the mother lived, because that was the better ending. Like, yeah, Robin and Barney break up or divorce. That's sad. But the show's called How I Met Your Mother, not How I Met Your Aunt Robin. And to this day, I will never be. Oh, also, I forgot. Sorry. One more show I like. We'll go into it later. Doctor Who, season 3 through Matt Smith's death.
Okay. So, yeah.
But yeah, so that ending just, oh my God, that they ruined it there. I won't watch the last season anymore. It's all about Robin and Barney's wedding. It's all that part's great. And it doesn't really feel rushed. It was really good. Like you can feel them wrapping up everything, but they had to kill them all. They had to do it something weird. And I hated that. But so Doctor Who, here's my hot take on this one. I didn't like the first Doctor in the reboot. David Tennant, I don't like him at all.
Really?
However, I do not like him at all.
You don't like him in Doctor Who, or just like him?
Correct.
Period.
Him in Doctor Who.
Okay.
I hate his doctor.
Okay.
My friend Brandon's wife loves that one, and I don't get it. Like he's there the longest. Like he had the relationship with like Rose, with I can't remember her name, the redhead, and I can't remember the other girl's name. But that's like it was just, that was the bad seasons. Matt Smith, best season.
Yeah.
That's a hot take. Everybody's like, oh, why do you like Matt Smith? Because Amy's like, yeah, Amy's my favorite companion of him, because her and Rory, they always end up back together no matter what with the doctor. And that's the season that, oh, spoiler alert, that's the season that explains River Song. Like that's the doctor who explains it all. And like, that's when it all clicks for you. Like, holy crap. That's why the blue book she had at the end, or at the time that she dies with, I think, David Tennant on the library isle, on the library planet. And then just seeing her throughout, and then you see her right before she, goes on her last trip and dies. All that kind of, but like David Tennant, no, he sucks. Rose and her family
Wow.
hated all of them.
Wow, that's crazy. Because like
I know.
I feel like whenever I hear people talk about Doctor Who, especially modern Doctor Who, it's like David Tennant and Matt Smith. Like those are the pinnacles. Um,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
and so that's interesting. So have you seen David Tennant and other things and liked him or?
I haven't really watched anything he's in.
Mm-hmm,
It's not like he's a very good actor. I just
mm-hmm.
don't like his version of the Doctor.
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah.
So, and
He's
I'm iffy on
amazing
Peter quality.
in Jessica Jones, season
Hmm.
1 of The Purple Man. I thought
I
he
mean,
nailed it. I thought he did great.
he's a
But
great actor.
yeah,
I'm not trying to he is a
you
great
don't got
actor.
beef with David Tennant. You just didn't like him
No,
as the Doctor.
I have
see.
beef with what is he, the ninth Doctor? I know.
Yeah.
And he wastes a regen. Like, come on, man, you selfish. He wasted a regen on a hand so he could till he'd come back to life. Like, what? That's not how that's supposed to work. But okay. Selfish Doctor. Peter Capaldi's all right. When they everyone can attack me when they made it the woman, and I watched hers. I just didn't like it at all.
Yeah.
But knowing that, you go back and you watch like Peter Capaldi's last couple of seasons, and you can see the build up because they make like the general of high command of Anna has beef with Matt now. I knew this would happen. See, real quick, whenever they start changing like they make it to where they tell you like Time Lords can be women or men, with the Time Lord General swapping over after Peter, I think it's Peter kills him in the little things down below, the whatever they're called. You can see it being built up. Listen, everybody knows that David Tennant is a good actor. However, his version of the Doctor is garbage. Rose is garbage. I can't remember her name, but the redhead, not good. All of that was just like it felt like I was watching a soap opera every episode, not a sci-fi show about Doctor Who. Now, there were some episodes that were good. And then there's also some episodes that are weird, like the Doctor's daughter, the other daughter, who just never shows up again. So we want to talk about that? Because we never see her again, but she's a doctor. Or she's the Doctor's child, so she's half Time Lord. Or maybe even full Time Lord, I don't even know. So, like, look, I'm just throwing it all out here. Like,
these are the hot takes. We finally got into the things that people can hate Matt about.
My fact that I hate David Tennant is Doctor Who number 9/10. Selfish jerk. Well, come on, you wasted a regen. Like, he was 10 actually, I think, and he took 2. Like, come on, like, let somebody else have a chance. But Matt Smith was a great selection, and he was great as he was very good in The Crown. So it just proves that he's the best actor of all of them. Just saying. And Rose, not Rose, Amy Pond. The best companion, like, hands down.
My favorite thing, I just like. I haven't watched any of these, by the way. I'm not trying to be a poser here. I had a boss who really loved Doctor Who and would tell me a bunch of stuff about it. But I love Peter Capaldi's story of just how like he grew up watching the Doctor, and just like he loved it, and then finally got the chance to be him, and finally stepped into that role. I think it's such a cool story. But anyway, stop raising my wife's hypertension.
Look,
Wow.
I'm not trying to. I mean, it's just like the takes are true. Like, you have to hit them takes. But we won't talk about Doctor Who anymore. I'll give the Doctor Who
we'll
one.
Move off to that. Those are kind of my big questions. I like to just kind of get the temperature of like what's kind of the backstory. What's the stuff that you were interested in. So yeah, no, it's good. I'm glad to know you a little bit better, Matt. Now.
Yeah.
So.
Glad to know that I don't like to eat honey, so I'm not going to take any of Jeremy's honey.
Look, honey's great. Okay, I actually just made some honey sriracha.
That actually sounds
yesterday.
good.
Oh yeah, I got so you can go to Walmart and you can find literally something called honey sriracha. I put it on egg sandwiches. It's delicious. Couldn't find it this past time, so I just got a fresh thing of honey, and I have some sriracha, and so I did like probably, I don't know, a cup of honey and then like a tablespoon of sriracha, and just kind of mixed it all together and let it sit overnight. It's great. It did wonderful. So
My friend Brandon has bees, and so that's where we get our honey.
I love honey. Oh, it's so good.
It's really good. The his is really like that's where we get our honey now, and honey sriracha, by the way, is fantastic. We made it. We use Home Chef, and so we've had to kind of you quote make it for like the meals and all.
Right.
Surprisingly good. I did not think I'd like sriracha mixed with something sweet.
Oh yeah,
Not
no,
at all.
it's amazing. It takes the spice down just enough, and there's something about sweet and salty and sweet and spicy. The contrast somehow elevates both flavors. It's amazing. So it's nice. What's up, Espresso fan? Thanks for tuning in. So Matt,
Yes.
we know you a little bit better now. Would you like to check out some of your video game memories?
Yes, I would love to.
Of old. I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna fix my window here. I'm just kind of. Oh man, we got all kind of window problems. Sorry.
I'm blind right now. No, because my screen popped up because I'm preparing the dungeon for my friends, trying to figure out I'm writing out their generic timeline. Also, I love D&D.
I
like
was just about to
D&D.
say, yeah, we didn't even talk about D&D. What's how long have you been trying to play D&D with your friends?
So we started trying in 2019. That didn't go well. Things happened with a member of the group, not us, just another person left basically. We tried it. And I read my character sheet wrong because we had like we've tried it with the smaller campaign. I liked it. We tried another campaign, and I read my like character's backstory wrong, and so me and my friend Brandon ended up almost killing each other in the game, and probably in real life.
Right.
And then I started DMing because nobody else wanted to do it, and now I kind of love it. I'm listening to that the Dungeons and Daddies podcast, which fantastic.
Yep. Did you ever try New Crits on the Block?
It is on my list. I want to finish the first season because I'm kind of writing down the things that like they do that I like that I want to do in mine. Like I haven't been doing as many ability checks for things, and I'm about to ability check the crap out of them. And like I've every time I plan something, they go the opposite place.
Yep.
And ruin it.
Yep.
Like an example, I brought them to the castle for Strahd. To meet Count Strahd at Castle Ravenloft, as like just kind of like a nice dinner. I wasn't going to do the try and kill them yet. And the first thing they do is ram the pipe organ. They see he has like a mimic that's not a mimic, an illusion that stands in front of a pipe organ and plays it. And when you first meet him, and of course my friend decides to just ram his head into the pipe organ trying to kill him, and breaks it and almost locks out a integral part of the mission, or of the goal. So that was kind of fun. And then if I plan on them going somewhere, they go the opposite way. But honestly, it's okay because the next part, they've not really done a lot of fighting. They've done a lot of killing NPCs who don't matter. They're named and they do matter, but then they end up somehow skipping the part where they mattered by like just killing another person and getting what they want. So I have plans that they can't get around this one. So well, cool. There's an angel is all I'll say. There's an angel that they'll be fighting.
I like it.
Who has very high 3-digit health. So
well, I hope it goes well. I would love to. I know we talked about this on the stream. I would love to do D&D. Jeremy and Steven are going to be your hard sells on that one. So
I can easily convince Steven. Also, real quick, I don't just like Matt Smith because his name is Matt. I like him because he's the best doctor. Just saying.
Well, anyway,
I can't help it.
So I just recently found this website. TikTok kind of turned me on to this, but this is a website called noclip.website. Hoping it doesn't somehow do something to my computer, but
I'm already in.
You can basically you're already in. I can
Yep.
You can basically type in any game, and you can pick like a level to go to, and it will load it in, and then you're in this game world, and you can just kind of explore around. So like I just typed in Okami, and now I'm in the first level of Okami, and you can run around. You don't have like your character or anything. You're just a camera flying around. But you got the whole level, out and open, and like this is just crazy. Like I'm just kind of glancing around, I'm getting flashbacks of all the cool moments from Okami. So anyway, I thought this was just kind of be fun to like just go to some different places and just kind of explore. So where do you want to go, Matt? What's the game?
So another good game I meant to tell you,
Mhm.
San Andreas. Spent a lot of time in that.
Okay.
And you can load the entire map in, which is interesting.
That's 5, right?
San Andreas
Yeah.
is under experimental, but it's no, it precedes 5. Speaking of games that have lasted long beyond their expected timeline, GTA 5.
Oh yeah.
But they
Yeah.
keep pumping content into it, which is like weird to say, but yeah, they keep pumping content into it.
Oh man.
I also think it's wild that they put the military. Is this the military base? No, there's no military base here in San Andreas, and that's where GTA 5 takes place.
You found this on NoClip?
It's under experimental,
Okay.
which it takes a second to load, so maybe we swap to another one because I know you have a bad internet. Excuse me.
I have no problems with my internet, Matt. You know this.
I think Steven would
why do I
not
see it?
concur. We can also try. Let's see. Yeah, this place is huge. You had like the 3 different areas. You had San Fierro, Las Venturas, and San Andreas. Good times. Good times. Where was the military base? Oh, and it had Area 51. I forgot about that. But they called it something different. But yeah, Area 51.
Yeah, I clicked on the penthouse suites. Just it was the first one that I saw in its area, and it is taking a while to load.
It has like the underground spot you had to go through to get the jetpack. That was fun. How did you get there? I don't even remember.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, this one. Yeah, this is huge. San Andreas is insane.
Yeah, this is oh wow, this is really interesting.
Yeah, I spent so much time in this game, especially once I learned the cheat codes for like infinite money.
It almost seems broken. I'm sure it's just like they laid it out to have only interactable places, but
well, this one's I'm just looking at like the generic map. Like you can also do I don't even know Half-Life 3. What? Just kidding. They hide Half-Life 3 here somehow. Let's see.
So I'm gonna admit, I saw Kingdom Hearts on here, and I've got to try that out. I'm gonna go to Traverse Town. Oh God! Wow. I'm in.
Matt's cam froze. No, my face froze.
Yeah. His face and cam are frozen for whatever reason. If I'm not clicked onto his screen, it won't let me see it.
Steven talks in chat, and then suddenly BattleNet opens up to start updating. What's happening? Steven, quit hacking.
Speaking of what's happening, can we talk about how there's a Nintendo Switch Direct tomorrow and a PlayStation State of Play?
Okay, I'll be honest with you. I don't believe either of those unless I need confirmation from at least 3 outside sources.
Oh, you have more than that if you want it. It is fully confirmed. No worries.
This brings back all the memories.
Oh, they have Ocarina of Time in here.
Oh, yep. Played that one too. That was a lot of fun.
I need Jeremy to walk me through. Jeremy is wanting to do like a kind of a, the forward compatible series that Steven does. He is wanting to do basically backwards compatible and basically kind of talk about the history of some games. And so not necessarily like, would it work today, but just like, this is why this game was important. And so he had talked about doing Link to the Past, I think. So, man, this Ocarina of Time one looks rough.
Yeah, I never actually. So, fun story. I never beat it. I watched it get beat. So I couldn't get past the Goron City. Where you had to like go to the boss's room or whatever it was. You had to like go to what was you had to do? Something to do with the main room. You had to like stop something so you could get into this area. I could never get it to work. Sad times. This is the boss though. He looked angry.
What was one of your favorite levels from Diddy Kong Racing?
I hated Diddy Kong Racing.
Oh, okay.
But let's see. My one thing I did like was how you got to the other areas. I got to say that.
Okay.
Where do you see Diddy Kong on here?
Mm-hmm. Diddy Kong Racing's under the Nintendo 64.
Diddy Kong Racing. All right, let's
They've
just start at the
also
main area.
they've got
The
Banjo
hub.
Kazooie.
Oh, this hurts your eyes when you
Great
load it.
time. Great time. Oh God.
Let's see. Level 1, Ice Cave. 2, yep. 3. I think I did beat it. It was just I don't think I liked the ice one. I can just look and maybe remember. Snowflake Mountain.
Banjo Kazooie was another one that like I really enjoyed, but was just not good enough as a kid to complete.
Yeah, I was like 5. It's like not really good at beating these.
Mm.
You know what they need to put on here? Mario Kart 64.
Yeah, that would be a good one. Or like Super Mario 64.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, oh yeah, that would be nice. Super Paper Mario, Mario Galaxy. They did a fantastic job remaking these, especially with I'm sure proprietary assets from Nintendo.
There's Luigi's Mansion too.
They need to put Game Boy Pocket on here. I mean, I know it was all 2D, but still.
I was gonna say, yeah, the Pocket. I'm so impressed that you had one of those because that seems like such a deep cut.
Yeah, that's that. I remember going to get it when I was a kid.
Yeah.
We still lived in Clinton. It was back when Toys R Us was actually over there in East Jackson, West Jackson, by the car place and all. Oh, I remember going and buying it. Best day ever. Just going in and like, yep, that's the one I want. And now they're worth so much money. But I mean, I played it all the time, so of course they got wear and tear.
Right.
I don't have my original Game Boy Pocket. I have my, Color. I have my other Game Boy Color. Had more than one because one broke, and I think it actually didn't break. I think it just had like, I think the batteries just corroded and messed up the prongs or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, I didn't know. I don't think my parents really knew, so we got rid of it. It probably would have been fine, or they said they got rid of it. They have it somewhere though. Oof. I want to sell it and buy me a house, like an island house.
Matt, they do have some of the Mario Kart levels from like there's Double Dash. There's Mario Kart Wii.
There's Dark Souls. Mario Kart on Wii was interesting.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's Sunshine.
Oh gosh, SpongeBob SquarePants, Battle for Bikini Bottom. Okay, I like that.
Yeah, it's funny seeing some of these because it's like, okay, yep, that there was a remaster of that just recently came out. I wonder if they somehow pulled that from that or this from that. So,
do you remember those old Flash games we used to go play?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Like Nickelodeon and all them would like tell you like, hey, with a parent's permission.
Yep. I played a ton of those for like Disney Channel. Speaking of Switch, there was one for I want to say the experiment's name was Ruben or something like that, but he was the one. He had all the abilities of Stitch, but he only cared about making sandwiches.
Yup. Oh, dude, that one was great.
He had a Flash game where you were like stacking a sandwich and you like had to catch the pieces and what.
Early Flash days when you didn't have to worry about your stuff getting hacked, or you probably didn't know it was getting hacked.
Yeah, that's
or care.
I think that's more what it was at the time. It's just not knowing and not caring. But they have Star Fox Adventures on here.
Yeah, I did see that. That's my sore spot there.
Oh gosh,
there's a lot. Where is it?
I don't even remember. This is probably they probably only rendered this for cutscenes, but this is their base. I don't know. Fox is doing something over here in this chair.
Which one did you click?
I clicked the Great Fox, their ship. I literally something is up with these chairs are moving in mine, but I feel like they
The
just
chairs in the main room.
yeah,
They are in mine too.
that's funny. I
What's
feel
what's he doing over here?
I feel like they made this just for cutscenes. Like I'm wondering
They
if these little white stars are actually cameras, and that's why it looks kind of funny.
Oh, I bet it is.
Because everybody looks like they're at just the right spot
For a
something like that.
cutscene. Let's look at the maps. Let's see. Early
Where are you going? Where you want to go?
Lightfoot Village. Should be Lightfoot Village.
Lightfoot Village.
That's
okay. All
yeah.
right.
Oh yeah, this is it. This is the one. This is it. God, so much pain and torture here.
Dang, I don't remember this area.
I'm trying to remember. It may be. This is kind of. This feels too small to be the actual area. Because I remember there was like you had to go through this path to get to the village. So I want to see that probably. Or maybe it's not early.
There's
It's
a
like
dinosaur in here going to town.
maybe
Man, this would be a game to go back and experience again.
there's apparently a flea market in Jackson.
Uh-huh.
And they supposedly have like just like dozens of these consoles just spread out. And there's one on the coast I went to actually. That's where I got GoldenEye. I have a GoldenEye for my N64.
Mm-hmm.
And I have an original controller. But they had they have all kinds of games for sale there. GameCubes, everything. The markup is ridiculous, but
Yeah,
like they have a GoldenEye and they wanted like 150 for it, which is kind of low for GoldenEye, honestly. I feel like GoldenEye, a golden GoldenEye with box, you could probably sell it for a lot more than that.
Yeah, probably.
Lightfoot Village.
I went to Dragon Rock, which is an area I remember riding a Triceratops around all the time.
I'm gonna go to Ancient Dragon Rock. Oh, that's not rendered at all. Okay.
Yeah, some of these look better than others for sure.
Let's see if this one loads.
Yeah, this one. There's a bunch of dinosaurs like in cages and stuff, and I remember you ride one of the Triceratops around. It was a great time.
They didn't render any of that for some reason.
Yep, here's the dinosaur.
Where?
Here's the T-Rex. They're in their cages. Yeah, so you could ride this dinosaur around. What a time!
Olden days.
What a time, man!
Olden days of video games.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what we need to play. Conflict Desert. There's a 2? Did I know there was a 2? It's on Steam. Just want to point that out. Oh yeah, we played all these kind of like, just like military or like just kind of like combat. You had to like pay attention to things. I remember there was this one mission where you were sneaking in at night, and I'm gonna find it. You're sneaking into the base at night using night vision. Oh, so good, man. These games, I miss them. I did try to get that game running. I have Conflict Desert Storm on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't go very well. Conflict Global Impact. Was it Conflict Global Impact? Steven, are you still here?
He might.
Conflict
I think
Global
he's still
Storm.
here.
Conflict Global Terror. No, yeah. Man. And Medal of Honor Rising Sun, that was a fun game on GameCube. GameCube was just so much fun.
GameCube was a great console. That one and PS2 were where I really kind of became a gamer.
Mm-hmm.
And then once we started the channel, which would have been in the PS4 era, is when I really started to like branch out to a lot of different things.
Join the dark side and all.
Yeah.
You still use a controller though. Just pointing that out.
Look, that's a lot rarer. GTFO I play with the mouse and keyboard. So I've gotten better.
I mean, it's okay. It'll still work. I mean, as long as you're playing the games, that's really all that matters.
Right. Exactly.
No. What's my computer doing? There we go.
Well, anyway, I thought that just might be a fun little detour.
That's just wild though that they have somebody's taken the time to go kind of like remap all these. And I mean obviously they're not going to be perfect. That's a lot
Right.
to
A lot of
kind of
them
ask.
were not perfect for sure.
But
Um,
like the fact that they have even like just some of it there, and a lot of these I feel like should be an experimental.
right.
But some of these experimental ones are actually really good. Like Super Mario Odyssey seems pretty good.
It's perfect. It's good enough for you're just trying to go back and look, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
obviously if you were trying to play the game, it would
Uh huh.
this is not
This would
workable,
suck.
but just to quickly glance and for free, it's like, wow, okay, this is really nice. So, anyway,
Kind of relive your, just see it, bring back the memories, look into the different spots, be like, man, I hated Lightfoot Village.
it was
Like
all the good times, all the bad times. So,
all the times come flowing back to you. Skyward Sword. I'll be honest, never played this one, but I never had well, we had a Wii, but
yeah.
we had Just Dance, and that was it.
Skyward Sword may be the best story in a Zelda game.
Really?
I think so. I think I would still give it that. I'd like to give Breath of the Wild that, but the story is just so disjointed. Um,
I mean, it's basically just you're fighting Ganon again, right?
so in Skyward Sword, it's actually like Skyward Sword is technically like the very beginning of the timeline for Zelda. And
Mm-hmm.
so you actually forge the Master Sword in that game.
Oh.
Um, you fight a beast that is kind of Ganon.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, when you beat him, he curses you and Zelda basically to reincarnate and to suffer in all of your lives. Um, and that's kind of what sparks the whole, I guess, the franchise, if you want to call it that. But anyway,
Interesting.
it's very good. It's very good. I enjoyed it, and then that it's probably the most that like we've really gotten a Zelda and Link love story out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think most of the games just kind of you assume they get together. This one, it's very clear that they like love each other and are fighting for one another. But anyway, yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. It gets a bad rep, but I really enjoyed it at the time. The motion controls, that's I think what most people crack
Motion
at it for.
controls are garbage. Period.
Yeah, I wish they were better. So Matt, I'm telling you, I'm mad about Splatoon. I swear, their motion controls used to be like omnidirectional motion controls.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could adjust anything, but now they have it set up where it's only up and down. And I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know
what got me on it.
Yeah, and what frustrates me more, I wouldn't even mind that if I could still control up and down with my stick.
Mm-hmm.
I want it to be I have full control on the stick, but on the fly can make a jerk move with my controller and maybe
Mm-hmm.
make that quick flex reaction kill. But it's just they for whatever reason I swear it used to work that way for 2 or even maybe it was 1, but I guess somewhere along the line they honed that into it's just better if it's just up and down. But
Yeah, that's just such a weird one to do though. Only up and down, and then also disable the up and down. Like most motion controls let you do both, right? Like,
yeah, that's why I think it's so weird for me because I don't understand how that's supposed to work. But everyone I talked to though said like I've been watching some tip videos and they've all said use motion controls. It's gonna feel weird, but if you can stick with it, it's gonna help your game. And I was just like, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. It's not. It can't help me that much. So anyway, well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to conclude our podcast for tonight. Matt, thank you for letting me just dive into your backstory and hear a little bit about you and all that jazz. So
thank you for having me. I've enjoyed this.
always. Of course, Chortle Cast happens every Monday night, usually around 8:00, 8:30. We talk about all sorts of stuff. We do tier lists. We do character versus character championships. And we just generally have a good time. But it's not the only thing we do here on the channel. We also live stream on Thursday nights, Friday nights, and Saturday nights. As we've said a couple times, Steven is currently at the hospital with his wife. They are inducing. We should have a sweet baby bouncing boy here tomorrow, probably, maybe tonight. So we will see. But regardless, it's going to be kind of a wild week for the channel here. Steven obviously is the stream king, so He usually is on pretty much all of the streams, so we're planning to cover most streams for him. He is on deck to be on most of them, but we've given him full flexibility to bail out if he feels he needs to. So anyway, all of that to say, not sure what we're doing this week as far as streams, but we are going to try to hit Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We did talk Sunday night about doing Jeremy's backwards compatible series starting that Thursday. So that's probably what will happen there. But anyway, yeah, just stick around, like, subscribe, all that jazz. Of course, you can follow us on here on youtube.com. Just chortlegames.com really is all you need to do. Also, Foot Sushi, thanks to Matt.
Footsushi.org and com.
.org and com.
And GG, for to be specific.
Thank you. And then you can also follow us on TikTok, at Chortle Games on TikTok. We post shorts here on YouTube, but also some TikToks of just content clips from the streams. So if you don't have time to watch our hour, 2 hour, 3 hour streams, or 5 hours in the case of our Splatoon run last night, you can always catch up on some of the shorts we do there. So anyway, that's going to be it for tonight. Again, Matt, thank you for being here, and we will see everybody else Thursday. I am not, unfortunately. I'm sorry. Yes, Jeremy, I was just going to say I'll text you about this. I think we do Zelda Link to the Past backwards compatible, if that's cool with you. Unless you feel really strongly about another one. That would be the one that would probably hold my interest the most, but I digress. One other thing, Nintendo Direct and PlayStation State of Play are happening tomorrow. I unfortunately will not be able to do reactions to either of them. I just have a packed day tomorrow at work, so I'm not going to be able to get either of them. So I'm frustrated. And one of them is happening at 5, but I'm going straight to being a single dad. So I'm going to have Asher with me. So Lee Allison's out of town on a work trip. So yeah, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to react to either of those. Sorry. We'll obviously give our thoughts on that next Monday for sure. So, and I'm sure we're going to hear all sorts about stories from Steven's experience at the hospital and all that jazz. But anyway, I digress. We'll see you guys Thursday. Y'all have a good night. Bye.
Bye.